All rise. This court is again in session.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. This is case number CR22-4980, State of Nevada versus Jaymie Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell appears. She appears in court. She's out of custody. She's with counsel, Mr. Evenson. Good morning, Mr. Evenson. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very well, thanks. The state's represented by Mr. Hollandsworth, Division of Parole and Probation, by Specialist Tui Helene. This is the date and time set for an arraignment in this case, noting that the state filed a second amended information December 5th, 2023. Mr. Evenson, sir, looking at that document,
Yes.
the second amended information, can you tell this court, is that your client's name correctly, fully stated and spelled between lines 12 and 13?
It is, Your Honor.
And are you and she familiar with the contents of the information, and will you waive a formal reading?
We are, and we do.
Okay, tell me what we're doing in Ms. Mitchell's case this morning.
Your Honor, my client is entering a written no contest plea to this charge. It's in the nature of an Alford plea. Ms. Mitchell was suffering from a mental health break, so she has no recollection of the events of the day that led to these charges. And so we are doing this as an Alford plea, although that's not stated within the document. It is in the nature of an Alford plea. Because this is a legal fiction, we do not believe that the criteria could be met for the individual to have substantial bodily harm. That being said, it is a good target offense. It does get us to where we need to be. It does allow her to ask this court for mental health work. So that's what we're doing, and I believe you have a copy of the fully executed document.
Do you have the original there, Mr. Evenson?
I don't know if I have the original or you do. She took copies. I
It's
do.
filed in. Great, thank you. I just want to make sure the court, you have the original?
I have the original.
I'll take the original, yes, please. Mr. Hollandsworth, anything to add to statements of counsel?
Nothing to add.
Is this in fact a legal fiction in order to accommodate this plea? Or is this a, okay.
So this was the charge of the original information.
Right?
I'm not aware that it's a legal fiction.
I was not either. Mr. Evenson, I was not aware that it's a legal fiction either. Yeah.
Your Honor, I guess if that's a matter of perspective, a matter of debate, it is certainly my position that Ms. Mitchell is entering this as an Alford plea.
An Alford plea is different than a legal fiction.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's fair. I agree with that.
All right, thank
Okay.
you. Okay. Ms. Clerk, can you please swear in Ms. Mitchell?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, your counsel, Mr. Evenson, just put a number of statements on the record regarding the disposition of this case. Did you hear everything he said?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand everything he
Yes.
said? Are you in agreement with everything he
Yes.
said? Tell me how old you are.
I am 49 years old.
Are you a lawful citizen of the United States?
I am.
As you participate here today, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or prescription medication?
No, I'm
In
not.
fact, you tested negative this morning. Officer Urick, is that a fact?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Tell me how far you got in school.
I have a Juris Doctor.
Do you have any issues reading, writing, or understanding the English language?
I do not.
Your counsel's provided me with a document entitled No Contest or Nolo Contender, a Guilty Plea. I'm showing you the last page of that document, which is page 6. There between lines 5 and 8, there's a blue ink signature that says December 2nd, 2023. Was it signed December 2nd or January 2nd?
I signed this day, Your Honor.
Mr. Evenson, why don't you come up and grab the signature sheet from me? Go ahead and line through December. Have her or you put January.
I signed it after she did, Judge. I only saw the second. I didn't look at the month.
I apologize, Your Honor. I was nervous.
And make
That's okay.
sure it says 2024 as well, please.
Yeah, and cross it out with a 4 there. Cross that out. Your Honor, for the record, she's crossing it out and making a correction to January, and she's also crossing out the 3 and adding a 4.
Okay. Mr. Evenson, thank you.
And I have initialed same.
Thank you so much.
May I approach?
Yes, please. Thank you. Did you sign and date this document today, Ms. Mitchell?
I did, Your Honor.
Showing you the page again, do you recognize that signature as yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before signing and dating the no contest plea agreement, did you read it in its entirety?
I did.
Did you understand its contents?
I do.
Are you in agreement with its contents?
Yes.
Before signing it, were you able to discuss it with Mr. Evenson?
I was, Your Honor.
Did he provide you satisfactory answers to all of your questions?
Yes.
Are you aware that by pleading no contest here today, you are going to be waiving or giving up some very important constitutional rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
One of those rights is your right to a speedy trial, but by pleading guilty here this morning, you're giving up that right. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If this matter proceeded to trial, the state would be required to prove every element of the underlying offense beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury. But by pleading no contest here this morning, you're also giving up that right. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're also giving up your right to have your counsel confront or cross-examine witnesses that the state would call against you. And you're giving up your right to use the subpoena power of this court to force or compel witnesses who would testify for you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you're giving up your right against self-incrimination. Because
Yes.
by pleading no contest here, responding to questions that I might have, you are going to be incriminating yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do, give up that right?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Hollandsworth, can I please have you read the elements of the underlying offense?
That the said defendant, Jaymie Ruth Ann Mitchell, on or about November 28, 2022, within the county of Washoe, state of Nevada, did willfully, unlawfully, and recklessly drive a 2021 GMC Yukon on Interstate 80, public highway in the county of Washoe, state of Nevada, in willful or wanton disregard of the safety of persons or property, which act of driving and neglect of duty approximately caused substantial bodily harm to Andrew Merritt.
Thank you, Mr. Hollandsworth. Ms. Mitchell, did you understand the elements of the offenses just read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about those elements?
No.
Do you acknowledge that the state possesses sufficient evidence which would result in your conviction if this matter proceeded to trial?
I do.
In this case, you're pleading guilty to a Category B felony. Tell me, what is the possible penalty for the offense you're pleading guilty to?
Your prison?
We talked about that this morning.
1 to 6 years in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you also understand that I am required to fine you no less than $2,000, but the fine can be as high as $5,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand you are eligible for probation?
Yes.
Now, in this case, the parties are free to argue for any legally appropriate sentence, and you are free to ask for mental health court. Do you understand that the decision with regard to sentencing and that disposition is entirely up to me?
Yes, I do.
At the time of your sentencing, I will have reviewed everything in your file, including the pre-sentence investigation report, a mental health evaluation to the extent that that is available. I'm also going to listen to the arguments of the state, your counsel and you, and to the extent that the state presents any evidence at the time of the sentencing. I'm also going to consider all of that. Then the state, your counsel, and you are all going to make recommendations to me about what the sentence in your case should be, but that sentence, no matter what it is entirely up to me. Do you understand that?
Yes.
With all the rights in mind and all the consequences of your plea, is it still your desire to plead no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had enough time to talk to Mr. Evenson about your case?
I have.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am.
Has anyone promised you anything or threatened you in any way to get you to plead here today?
No.
Are you pleading freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me this morning?
No.
What is your plea then to the offense reckless driving resulting in death or substantial bodily harm to another, in violation of NRS 484B.653.9, a Category B felony?
No contest.
This court finds that Ms. Mitchell understands the nature of the offense charged and the consequences of her plea, that she's made a knowing, voluntary, and intelligent waiver of her constitutional rights, and therefore I will accept her no contest plea. Ms. Mitchell, I'm ordering you to cooperate with the Division of Parole and Probation in the preparation of a pre-sentence investigation report.
Your Honor, if I may. Sorry.
Yes.
My client was previously sentenced in Fallon, Nevada, in a charge relating to this case, and is currently in mental health court in Washoe County as a result of that plea. That plea was taken and I believe sentenced sometime in August of 2023, May of 2023. So there is a pre-sentence report available within the last 3 years. So all that would need to be done would be a supplement. I had inquired of your staff of the possibility of using that to sentence Ms. Mitchell today, but they said that there wasn't enough time to get that together, which was totally reasonable. But I'm just letting you know it doesn't have to go through the full PSI.
Because was that a misdemeanor charge?
No, it's a felony.
It's also a felony charge?
It is.
I have not seen that document, and because it's more than 6 months old, my preference is to have a pre-sentence investigation done in this case for this offense. So specialist, I'm going to have you provide those documents so that that can occur. Ms. Clerk, with that in mind, go ahead, Specialist, any instructions and documents,
So
please?
to fill out and complete this packet, and then within 3 days, call the division and parole, and go and set up that name for you, and then before you leave, this is a contact sheet where you fill out and you put it in, just bring it to me. Okay.
Okay, now, with that in mind, Mr. Hollandsworth, should this matter appear on a regular calendar, or should we anticipate the taking of evidence, and should I give it a special set?
I think if it was at the end of a regular calendar, it would be sufficient.
We can do that, okay? Mr. Evenson, I'm going to have Ms. Clerk suggest some dates. Do you have your calendar there in front of you?
I do, Your Honor.
March 26th?
Is that at this time at 10 or?
We could say at 10 a.m., and that would effectively put it at the end of a regular calendar, but we give you a time certain.
I have a couple of really ugly things that day, Judge. I prefer another day. Do you have anything sooner, or are you looking for a full PSI and that's how long?
Full
it's gonna take?
PSI.
Okay.
March 28th?
Yes, Judge, I can do that.
March 28th it is, 10 o'clock, Department 1. I'll see you back here then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's go with case number CR 23.